So hello everyone, my name is Real2911 and today I'm going to be doing a review on Zelda Breath of the Wild. You might notice that the images are a little bit twisted and had some stuff in it. That's because I'm being extra careful this time. I've seen a lot of people get their videos taken down by Nintendo, obviously. Small channels like, well, not so small channels, but the ones that Nintendo has off of his whitelist. Like Angry Joe, my friend Insane Spyro, and other YouTubers that have uploaded some footage, some legal footage, but Nintendo, I don't know how their share feature is gonna work in the future, but today we're gonna be talking about Zelda Breath of the Wild. I've actually finished the story. I've got 120 shrines. That it's the total shrines in the game. I've gotten like 100 and something Korok seeds. So yeah, basically I'm almost done with the game, but not really, because there's a lot to see in this game. So let's start with the world itself. The world is the biggest world I've ever seen. I mean, I was in big worlds on Skyrim and Fallout and all that stuff, but for some reason they don't feel like detailed and polished, and it may be a little bit like a wasteland here, but not really, because there's always enemies, there's always something to do. There's always like Korok puzzles, someone to interact with, enemies, structures to interact with, and I think that's really what makes this game cool. So yeah, the big wide openness that really breaks with the mold that Zelda has been giving us since Ocarina of Time. And on the portables it's a different story because of A Link Between Worlds. On that game you were given the opportunity to freely roam all over Hyrule, basically like a mini Breath of the Wild, where you can take all the items you need, you can rent them from Rabio, and you can go into any temple, you can tackle them as you like. So I think that they started this idea of openness and greatness and letting you do whatever you want with this game. Because if you see the footage of what supposedly was going to be the Wii U Zelda, it looked like a Twilight Princess but made on HD. So yeah, it would have been kind of cool too, but I prefer the final product. Now I've seen a lot of people giving this game a 10 out of 10, perfect masterpiece. I do think it's a great game, maybe the greatest Zelda, but there's some stuff that I want to cover that are just like pulling it away from being a truly masterpiece, from being something really amazing, something that no other game will ever have. Probably the next Zelda game will be better than this one, because they're going to be continuing this trend of the big world and openness and do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want. And that is first the inventory system. The inventory system, I know it's supposed to be a survival game. I know it's supposed to be hard. You have to manage your everything you have. You have to manage your weapons. You know that they're gonna break after some hits. They even tell you this weapon is going to break after this hit. This weapon is going to break, and it starts flashing red, and you're just wishing that it doesn't break, but it does break, and it shatters into a million pieces, and you can never get it back. So the inventory system, I think that's the thing that they should get better on the next game, or maybe with a patch on the DLC, or maybe even in the additional story that we're getting in winter. I think they can make it more approachable to everyone and less stressful to get, because I mean, to upgrade your inventory, at least on weapons, shields and bows, you have to get the Korok seeds. And getting the Korok seeds, there are 900 Korok seeds, so if you want all the space available on your inventory, you're gonna have to find every single one of those cork seeds. And I mean, the last like reward that quest gives you is just literally it's just poo, literally. So yeah, not that great. Also about the inventory system, how you have to pause like in previous Zelda games, which is something like they should have kept the Wii U gamepad's capabilities of just touching the gamepad and you can change into this clothes, you can change into this bow, you can change into a sword, into something else, because pausing the game just kind of breaks the quick pace. Like for example, you're in the middle of a battle and you have to pause the game because there's lightning suddenly, and you have to change your gears so you don't get struck by lightning before you get a special piece that is like makes you invincible to lightning strikes. But before that, you have to pause the game, you have to go to your equipment or something else, and you have to manually do it. Or with the quick, or even with the quick change inventory, even there it kind of breaks the pace. And with the Wii U gamepad, it would have been so much easier, even to navigate through the checkpoints of the fast travel, through the shrines and through the towers. It would have been a lot more easier if they had kept the Wii U gamepad capabilities, because the Wii U gamepad is just a black screen when you play Zelda, and it says tap the gamepad if you want to play in the gamepad, or you can leave it as it is and you can play on the TV, which is great. But I mean, it's obvious that they did this so that the Switch and the Wii U didn't have a lot of differences, and you would go and say, oh, the Switch version's just like the Wii U, there's no problem, I can go buy the Switch version. Because same thing happened with Wii U, with Wii and the GameCube with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess had the motion controls in the Wii, and it was inverted because they wanted that Link was able to handle the sword with its right hand. So they had to invert it, and it was like in a mirror kind of thing, like it was the Master Quest in Zelda's Ocarina of Time in the 3DS port, and it felt really off, and many people got the GameCube version, at least the dedicated fans got the GameCube version because the Wii version was like clunky and the camera was difficult to control. The motion controls were awful for some people, and I get it. It was just a gimmick that they had to put at the last time, like with the Switch port, because before the patch, that's something that I've also noticed. Before the patch, the Switch version tends to crash and do a lot of other stuff that I've seen on videos, and the Wii version was running smoothly until the patch. Until the patch, the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild was running smoothly. It only had some frame rate issues here and there. Obviously, it's a big game with almost no loading, so only that in the Wii U pre-patch. Because after the patch, I've noticed that the game is freezing, that the game is doing a lot of stuff that it didn't do in the past. Even using the ice arrows in some areas where it didn't froze, it did froze. So that's a big issue, and that's one of the things that I would like to see them improve in the next Zelda, like frame rate, and even the little things that count, like for example, the Master Sword. The Master Sword is supposed to be the blade that shatters evil or something like that. I mean, it's supposed to be the most powerful weapon in the whole Zelda game. It's the only weapon that we've had in a lot of Zelda games, and it's the only weapon that we've needed in all the Zelda games. But now it breaks with some hits, and it only does 30 damage. It's not even that powerful. I've found a 100 and something weapon that it's more powerful than the Master Sword. And the Master Sword only gets like 60 damage once you're near a Guardian, near a Calamity Ganon, or one of its minions, the the machines, the how to say, the fire blight and all this stuff. So I think they have to tweak that in the next game if they want to include the Master Sword. If not, they can just let it sit there, or it was lost, something like it. Because at this point it's just a useless sword. I mean, I do use it sometimes, but it breaks and I have to use my other weapons nevertheless. Even with bigger foes like Lionels and Silver Lionels, Guardians, Bokoblins, Moblins, I have to use my other weapons because the Master Sword breaks in some hits. So yeah. Now about the shrines. I think the shrines were okay. Some of them were a little bit confusing. About the divine beasts, I think the only one that I had problems with was the, how was it called? The desert one, the camel. That's the only one where I had some issues because I couldn't complete it without using the Revalis Wind. It's called Revalis Fury in Spanish. But yeah, without Revalis Fury, I would have been pretty much screwed on that divine beast because it's so confusing that you have to rotate 3 parts of the divine beast, and you have to like also, I think you control the neck or something with some electricity, and it's really confusing, and I couldn't get to anywhere without Revalis Fury, and it was just a mess up there. Even the boss of that divine beast was harder than most of the bosses I've encountered. I had a game over him. Even to Calamity Ganon, I never had a game over. And to that boss specifically, I think he's Lightning Blight or something, Ganon. He's the most difficult one in all the game. I can compare it even to the Silver Lionels because he just moves so quickly and you have to quickly tap the shielding button on the direction that he's facing, but he like teleports, so you have to do the shielding really quick and precisely, because if not, then you get chopped off and you have to eat something or you die. So yeah. Besides that, I think the game does make you feel like you need to go to places that you've never gone before. Like for example, I've already finished the stories like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But I'm still playing it, I'm still exploring, I'm still finding things that I haven't seen before. Enemies that have their, like, how do you call it, their hideouts, some chests that were hidden, some creatures like the hill knocks or whatever, the one that's made of bones. So the game does that and it's really entertaining, and I have like 73 hours on it. But a masterpiece, it's a stretch. A masterpiece, I wouldn't call it like that. A masterpiece, I would call it a great game. Like I would give it a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. But some of the issues that it had, and also the amiibo use, it's just like, why? I mean, you only get Epona with the Link, the Smash Brothers Link amiibo. If not, you're screwed. Some of the components are easier to get because of the amiibo. I think I got really quickly through the game because of that. I've got the Guardian amiibo, I've got the Link Rider, the 30th anniversary Smash series, and yeah, and Wolf Link. And also Wolf Link, I never used it because I know it felt like it might die with a hit or something. It has 20 hearts, but even then it felt like it was, say, a little bit, I don't know, it felt like it would be more like a charge, like in Fallout 4. I've seen how the dog just walks over the mice and just jumps out of cliffs and stuff like that. So maybe that's why I never used the Wolf amiibo, the Wolf Link amiibo. But yeah, so Breath of the Wild, it's a great game. We're gonna be getting some DLC in summer, on Winter 2. With the Winter DLC is the one that I have to like see before buying the whole DLC, because if it's going to be something like Arkham Knight with the story, story DLC, which was really disappointing, and challenges and the Batmobiles, which some of them you couldn't use it in the real game, you could only use it in challenges. I hope they really do something amazing with DLC. Even the summer DLC, I hope it's better than what we're thinking, because if they do, well, obviously the game's gonna sell a lot more. Also in the holidays, it's gonna be selling a lot of copies. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Don't forget to give it a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be an update video, because yeah, I've been away from this a lot of time. It's not gonna happen again, I promise. Every weekend that I have, every small time that I have, I'm gonna be doing a video. I'm also going to be announcing some stuff on the updates. One thing you may see now is that I'm not using the intro that I have. I'm thinking on switching it, on using something else, or just not using one, just using my some stuff that I'm keeping for the update video. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.